we're going to do first is you guys are going to join my class so I can share some things with you. And you can see what it looks like from a student perspective, and projected will be what that same class looks like from a teacher's perspective. Okay? So in order to join a class, if any of these pop-ups pop up, just say got it or close them, because they're just trying to walk you through using Classroom. But I'm here, so you don't need them. All right, so in the very top, everyone is to a screen that looks kind of like this, or you might have it looks like a chalkboard, but you should have a plus in the top, right? Anyone not have a plus? Except you're still trying to get on, right? You got on? All right, good. All right, so you're going to click on the plus, and because you are a teacher, you can join classes and you can create classes. Students should only be able to join classes. Okay? So you're going to click on Join a Class, and it's going to ask you for a code, and you are going to type in this little bitty code that you can't see. So I'm going to call it out. PRPNC1. PRPNC1. And that should get you into our class. And I can see you guys are dropping in here. Yay! There you are. Yeah, so it was PRPNC1. And you only have to know that code one time. So now when you go to your dashboard, you will always have this Getting to Know Google Classroom class there until you unenroll from it. Okay, or until I delete it or archive it. Okay, anyone have trouble getting into the class? All right. So what you see in the class is the picture that was chosen for you. You see the title of the class. You see the teacher's name. Okay. Beneath the picture, you see a brown row, and it says Stream, Students, and About. Your stream is where all of the action in your class takes place. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down, and there's a video. I placed a video here for you. I'm just going to open and play it. You don't have to open and play it. We don't need 10 of them going.
Watch the teachers around me passing things. It got more intimidating once the computers came. I felt as though if I couldn't get this, it would be time for me to retire.
My mother didn't receive much of an education. Because of that, she wants me
Kind of hard to see in this corner.
Okay. So each object have their own values, different values. At my house, I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers. Having lots of siblings is quite fun, but it's not peaceful. When I'm doing my homework, I go into Google Classroom. If I see my teacher's icon pop up, if I don't understand something, I could ask him and he'd be able to answer rather than having to wait till my next Spanish lesson.
I take the bus home. On my phone, if I'm anywhere, I'm able to access Google Classroom. We don't have to waste time writing our assignments, wasting paper. It saves my time.
I find it useful to have classmates and teachers looking at your work. I can see where they've made mistakes and where I've made mistakes and where we can both correct it.
Ahora está muy bien. Es excelente.
I feel like I have made this breakthrough. You just click on your name and their document opens up immediately in front of you. And those beautiful thoughts come out.
I want to become a software developer.
I would like to get qualifications for a judge because they help people out and stand up for people.
I want to be good my whole entire teaching career.
All right, so that's just a quick introduction. That was actually played in Google Classroom, and the good thing about putting videos in Google Classroom is it doesn't go out to the YouTube environment, so you don't have all the other videos on the side or all the tacky comments below. So that's kind of a nice feature there. But someone the other day said, well, I guess it's time for me to retire. I'm like, that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to see that Google Classroom is very easy to use. So here, again, our stream where all of the action takes place. You see there's a welcome message at the top. You guys can click on any of these messages where it says add class comment and make a comment on those. Okay. Now, as a teacher, I can turn that off for you. Or if Lance over there is leaving tacky comments, then I can turn it off for him, but let the rest of you guys keep having that privilege. Okay? So feel free if you want to add a comment on any of these, you can do that. Okay? And you scroll down, you see the video that I placed for you there. And then you have an assignment. So I want you to take a look at the assignment and see what that looks like for your students. So there's 30 of you in the class. None of you have completed the assignment yet. So what you will do is you will click on the assignment itself. It will, and then open up the Google Doc. Okay, so if you click on the assignment, you'll see the instructions. And then you should see, if you click on the title, it will open up the lesson and it should you should see a Word document there. A Google Doc, sorry. If you have the pop-ups, just turn them off. Just click to open the document itself. It will open in a new tab, and it will open a Google Doc with the title of our lesson, and it's that same one I showed for you earlier. Okay? Is everyone able to get that Google assignment open? Okay? Is that because it's just not opening, or you need help? Okay, anyone need help? All right. The two front teeth. I can't wait to read that. All right. What I would like you to do is to look at yours and look at your neighbors. The title of the document starts out the same for all of you. It says, what I'm looking forward to most during Christmas break. But then you see it has your name at the end, right? So each of you have your very own copy. You're able to complete the assignment. Nobody else sees your copy of your work but me and you. Okay? Now, over in the right-hand corner, once you complete your assignment, what you're looking forward to most on Christmas break, there should be a blue Turn It In button. Or Turn In. Do you see where it says Turn In? Okay, it's not blue. Sorry, it's to the left of your blue share button says Turn In. When you are finished typing something, go ahead and click on Turn In. Click on Turn In. Post would be, it's in the document itself. Okay, so you're back here. So yeah, you're going to turn in, click on Turn In. Oh, yeah. So what you would do is open this document and type it in there. Yeah, so click on this type. Open. Yeah, there you go. Trish, are you good back there? Yeah. All right. All right. So everybody turning it in? 15, 18 people have turned it in. Notice for me, I'm the teacher view, so I can see somebody unsubmitted their work. And so they're going to turn it back in a second. So I can see how many have completed the assignment and how many are still left to do the assignment just by being on this page. It updates automatically. Okay? So here's what happens when you turn in an assignment. You no longer have editing rights to that assignment. In order to get editing rights back, if you've made a mistake, then you're going to do what she did and unsubmit your work. So it's like you walked over to the box where you turned in your paper and you took it out. And you came back and you worked on it. When you're finished, you would turn it in again. And it would go back to the teacher. Now, the only reason you would not be able to unsubmit your work would be if the teacher has your work open and is assessing it at that time. You would not be able to pull it back from her. Or him. Or if it's what?
Past the due date?
You can still unsubmit past the due date. It will mark on there that it's late for you, and it will mark for your teacher that it's late, but you would still be allowed to submit it.
Can't you close the assignment if they can no longer do
No, they can still. Yeah. So when I put in an assignment, and when you do that in a moment, you're going to see that you can choose a due date. It allows them to still submit after the due date. It just says in red letters, late for them, and it says late for you. So if you want to assess a penalty for turning it in late, you can. Now, you can also say as a teacher, I will not accept any late papers. They could still turn it in classroom, but you could still give them the 0 for it being late and not taking it, not grading it. Okay? So as a teacher, I see 29 of you have completed, 1 hasn't. If I click on the numbers as a teacher, I see that 29 are done, 1 has not. So Nick, who's Nick? Get your work turned in, buddy. Oh, I'm teasing. I can see he's put pictures there. So, all right. So what's nice is I see a little screenshot, and if I want to open your assignment, it's just like the teacher said in the video. I just click on their name, and up pops their assignment. So I can see spending time with your family. Aww. That is so perfect. I love it. Look at those babies. All right, so I can look at her assignment. I can assess it. I can then close it over here. I can look at all of these. Then I'm going to find Deanna over here. You know, Deanna, that was such a good paper. You're going to get a 100. Woohoo! And I can open each individual's work. Here's another picture. So, Mary Beth, we have to show off your picture too. Hey, that's great. Yay, wonderful. So Mary Beth gets a 100. I can find her, give her a grade, and I can go through and mark all of the grades after I have assessed all of the work. Okay, and you can see now everybody's turned in their work. Very good. Here he is. Let's see what Nick had to say. It took him a while, but look, he's got a great picture. Beautiful. You know, so I can go back and say, Nick, that was great, but you just put a picture. You didn't write anything. I'm going to give you a 50. Or, you know, whatever. Okay? So I'm going to put in all of my grades here. And you know what happens do you ever sit down and get everything graded like you want at the same time? If you do, I sure didn't learn that skill in the classroom. I would grade some, then something else would happen, I'd come back to grading. So I've put in a few grades. I can now return those grades back to these 2 users. I can make a comment for them if I want to, and then their grades will go back to them. They will see they made a 100. They will see if I made any comments, what those comments were. Okay. The rest of you guys don't have grades yet, so when I go back in and add them, then I can return your grades then too. You don't have to wait till you have them all in. You can, but you don't have to. Okay. And again, here where it says done, this will say late if it turned in past the due date. Here I can see that I've already returned this one and this one. So I don't have to worry, oh wait, I already opened that one. It's going to let me know. Okay. So for me, it makes it easy for me to grade all of your work. And I'm not lugging home a bunch of papers and then lugging them all back the next day and etc. Yes, ma'am.
Is this just like Drive where it will save automatically?
Yes, that is correct. It will save automatically for you.
So then I could, if I had to stop and go do something and I come back and log in, I just go back to this assignment
Yep.
and everything.
Yes. So you don't have to worry about that. I got to figure out how to save this, anything like that. It's going to save automatically. I can even come out of here, do other things in classroom, and then return back to this page, and everything is saved there for me. Good question.
I was playing around with this with my assistant.
Okay.
So I could figure out how it works. And if you're, say, the English paper we were playing around in LA, and as a teacher, I put comments on the side.
Yes.
And at first I couldn't figure out why she couldn't see them, but I hadn't returned it back to her yet.
Yes.
For her to see the comments so she could edit. So I put on there, please edit and return. And then she could see the comments that I made.
Yes, absolutely. So like if I open up Deanna's, what she's saying is if you go in here and edit the paper, then it's just like you're collaborating on the paper. But if you want a kid to actually go in and make the edits themselves, then you can leave a comment by clicking on comments and clicking on comments. And now I can say, great job, or I can say, go back and change this, or whatever I want to say on the paper. Okay? Then once I return this paper back to its owner, then they will see my comments here. And if it's something I've told them to do, then they can actually have the option to resolve that. So they would be able to check on here, I resolved that issue, and then they can submit it back in. Okay. The other thing you can do in comments is fairly new. If I add another comment here, if I name somebody by name, so if I do plus and put this, then I can assign this to the person. It doesn't assign it in Classroom like it's a new assignment, but they will get an email saying, Deborah said you need to go back and fix something. So if you're collaborating with other people, I can assign you these 3 tasks, and you these 3 tasks, and you these 3 tasks. That's just a new feature, so while we're on comments. But once you've made comments, you will have to return that assignment back to the user for them to see those comments. Okay, so that's how a lot of teachers will edit back and forth, is putting the comments just like you would with your regular red pen. Okay, now we'll tell you. I'm sorry? Yes. Yes, so, oh wait, say that again? I thought you said about highlighting. Oh yeah, so I could highlight here and say, you need to fix this, or that wasn't.
I'm going to comment if I highlight it.
Oh, highlight and then comment. Yes, you're right. Then it attaches it to that. Yes, you're right. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, so you can return it back to them. You could even put a grade. So you could say, this is a 50. You edit it, resubmit it, and I'll give you a higher grade or whatever. Then your comments are here as a way of instructing them as to what you want them to do. You can, if they post a comment when they are turning in an assignment, it's private to you. And if you return just one paper at a time and put a private comment, then it's just, between you and that student. If it's a comment out on the stream, everybody sees it. Okay. All right. Now, I will tell you, those of you who are iPad schools, and this only works on a mobile device, it was a new feature rolled out in August. If you are on an iPad, and math teachers love this, because on a mobile device, iPad or Android, they can open the assignment, and then there's an editing button that gives them a pencil, and they can write on top of the assignment. So if I'm working out a math problem, I can do 2 plus 2 or whatever. If I'm English teacher and I'm assessing someone's work, I can circle it, do all my editing marks and all of that. But that feature is currently only available on mobile devices. Okay. All right, so when I go back to my stream, again, here's my assignment. Okay, if I've assessed everything, I can move right on. The other thing that you're going to see at the bottom is I've asked you a question. So go ahead and click on the question itself. Should be a multiple choice question, and you can choose an answer. You guys see it?
How do you get back to that after we've sent it to you?
Oh, so that's a good question. Let me show you where that is. So I was in this assignment. Okay. Actually, here I clicked on the assignment. And you guys are on the assignment. There's an arrow over here to the left that will go back to your main classroom or to that main screen. And then it's on your stream. And the question I asked was down at the bottom. Okay. It should be multiple choice. Short answer? Did I not do multiple choice? Maybe I didn't do multiple choice. All right.
No. Well, you could do it there or use it right here. We'll try. Either way.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on over there. So as a teacher, I will be able to see your answers. So this is a great thing to throw out there at the end of a class for a bell ringer or an exit ticket. What did you learn from class today? Throw out a question, see if they can answer it. Okay? All right, so those are the types of things that you guys can add. I like Andrea's comment. It's nice to have a student's view. I've been hijacking students' computers. I like that. That's fun. All right, so I can see the comments, and as a teacher, remember, anytime you see 3 dots, 3 lines, or a drop-down arrow, there's more options. So as a teacher, I can come in here and delete Eric's comment if I don't like it. Luckily, Eric didn't say anything bad, so I don't have to do that. Or I can mute Eric. That means that Eric no longer has the capability of commenting in the stream. Okay? Now, as a student, you can delete any comments you said. Okay? You can't delete others, but you can delete yours. But as a teacher, I have this option over here that I can show deleted items. So for me, it would show what a student deleted. So if Christy went in here and said something bad to Deanna, but she deleted it before I saw it, I can still turn this on and see what it was she said and deleted and still deal with it. Okay, so it's kind of nice that I have that kind of control. All right, going up, yeah, finally. Going up, you see students. I see students. You guys see classmates. Okay? So you're going to be able to see who's in your class, and you're going to actually be able to email them. So you have a little email icon. If you wanted to email it, no? It's not there for you?
It's there, but then it says you don't have permission to do it. I think it's the Outlook issue.
Oh, okay. All right, so they won't be emailing then. But that would be the only thing that they could do as a student from this page if they were using Gmail instead of Outlook. Okay? All right, now for me, what I have here is I can invite students. So if I didn't want to give you guys the code and I wanted to invite you in, I could. They would see on their dashboard that Mrs. Atchison has asked you to join the class, and they would still have to click on join. But for you guys, that's a lot of work to invite your students. You have several classes full of several students, and you would invite them individually. That's a lot. Okay? So I would not use this. I would only use this if I were maybe an elementary teacher and kids struggled with typing in a 6-digit code. Okay? For you, the code to your class is always going to be on your student's page. You can reset the code and you can turn it off. Okay, so if all your kids have enrolled, you can turn this off if you want to, or you can reset it. Okay, but let them do that plus type in the code. It's much easier. Okay. The other thing as a teacher that I have access to is I can say if students can post and comment, if they can comment only, or I don't want them posting and commenting. Okay, commenting is just like what we saw in the main thing. You can make a comment. Posting would mean they could start their own new thread. Okay, so if I were to go back to the stream, each one of these things is its own post. Students would be able to make new posts if I left that on. So if you look, you guys have a plus over here in the bottom right-hand corner. You have post and what? Announcement? Or post and what does it say? Just post. So you could make a post. But in this bottom plus, only because I gave you that capability. Okay, I can turn that off and you don't have it. Yes, ma'am.
In the topic section, can we change that for topic? Like have one topic where they can post and comment, or another topic where they can only comment?
No, unfortunately, it's all or nothing as of right now. Okay. But I can have that control. Some teachers only want students to be able to comment. Some will allow them to post. And I will tell you, it's like a lot of other things. The first time they get on there, they're going to post silly things or crazy things or inappropriate things, possibly. But once they kind of get that out of the system and they know that you can mute them and take that capability away, then it gets a little bit better. Yes, Sam?
What about the see other classmate comments? Is that always on or always off?
That's always on, is seeing other comments. So on the stream, they will be able to see anything that's posted here as comments. So if Andrea posted something else, then you would be able to see it. If Lance posted something down here, you would be able to see it.
Same with turning in homework, they can see.
They cannot see a kid's work. They can only see the comments right here. When you submit an assignment to me, you have the option of making a private comment, and that goes only to me, and I can make private comments back to you, but the kids don't see that. But anything on the stream, they would be able to see. And it will say, instead of saying add a class comment, it will say add a private comment if it's going just to me. Good question. All right, other thing in students that you have, that's it. Oh, except that I can, from the tags, I could email the student. I can select students here. And under actions, I can remove them. So if they join the wrong class, when your email is connected, you could email them or you could mute them. Okay, mute meaning they would not be able to leave comments or posts, but they would be able to turn in work.
Can you move them from class to class?
No, they have to insert that code again. No. But let me show you this question in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. There's a question mark. And let me blow that up a little bit where you can see. You can send feedback or ask a question. That's going to go to the Google folks. Okay, so if you have a suggestion of something that you want to see, click on Send Feedback. Because I will tell you, when Classroom started in August of 2014, it was a lot less features than what it has now. And most things that we have the capability of now are because teachers said, I want to be able to do this, and they submitted it to the Google team. And they do read all of your posts. I can't remember her name now. I think it started with a J, who's the Google Classroom project manager. But she said she and her team read all of them. And if you suggest something that becomes a classroom feature, they will email you later and say, hey, thanks for the idea. It's now a part of Google Classroom. Okay? So when you want to add new features, submit those. I do it all the time, the same thing over and over and over. I want to be able to rearrange my classes. So the more people submit them, the more chance they are becoming features. Yes, did you have a question?
Yeah, it's like I read somewhere too, like if you get a question mark, depending on where you are, it will give you information about that.
Yes, that is true. That is true. All right, the last thing you have is the About tab. So if you click on the About tab, you're going to see that all I've added on the About tab is our training agenda. Okay. So as the training, I can put anything on this page. So I could put class syllabus, I could put class rules, rubrics for projects, whatever you wanted to put. But the kids don't really interact with this content as far as like assignments. They would just go there to open the files and read the files. The other thing you see at the top is Google Classroom automatically creates a Google folder. So I'm going to jump back to my drive. There is a classroom folder that is created automatically. We kind of talked about it a little earlier. When I double click on that, there will be a folder for every class I create in Google Classroom. And when I look into that folder, there will be a folder for every assignment with all of the kids' work. So it's already organizing all of that into the folder. But this is what I tell the students. Don't really mess with the folder. Don't really go in there. Sometimes they'll want to go in there to find a copy of their work. Okay, and that's okay. But for you, it's much easier just to, and I just closed Classroom by accident. And I forget the key to open recently closed tabs.
Control-Shift-T.
Thank you. Control-Shift-T. Yay, thank you. Write that one down. Control-Shift-T if you accidentally close a window. Thank you. So I just tell them to really stay out of that folder. Okay, but it creates that automatically on the background. That's where Lance was talking about. It already takes care of all the sharing stuff. Okay. The other thing it creates for you is a Google Classroom calendar. So when you put in assignments, if there is a due date, it will show up on the calendar. So they can view that in Google Classroom or they can view it in Google Calendar either way. Okay. For you as a teacher on the left, you can invite a teacher. So somebody back there said they were a SPED teacher and I was trying to decide how to set up their classes. Well, if your students are in other teachers' classes, they can just invite you as a teacher to their class. As an invited teacher, you can post assignments, you can grade assignments, you can do anything a regular teacher can do. Okay? So the SPED teacher could come in and assess the SPED students' work, and the main teacher could assess the other students. Okay? But you would invite them by putting in their Google address right there. And that was a feature that teachers requested that was added later.
Let me ask her a question about the Google Drive folder.
Yes.
If you access it from here, what is the edit setting for that?
The edit setting is that's a good question. The students would be able to, I'm the owner, anyone in this class would be able to edit.
So they can always edit?
But they're not going to be able to see the other kids' work. They don't have permission to the other kids'
So
work.
that's just work.
Yes.
Okay. So that's not to our file and hold it.
No. No. That's going to store the assignments in there. Yeah. Good question.
That clarifies something.
Good. All right. Any other question from a student perspective?
So when they're assigned to multiple classrooms, what is that going to look like?
All right. That's a good question. So if you'll click on the 3 lines over on the left of your screen, that little hamburger, hot dog, whatever you want to call it, when you click there and click on classes, that takes you back to what's known as your dashboard. So any class that you have created or any class that you are a part of will show up on your dashboard. So when kids go to classroom.google.com, they will see your class, they will see all the other classes. Okay? You will see all of the classes that you created. All right, other questions?
Can you rearrange those classes?
No, you cannot, which is a pain. So we're about to create a class. So my biggest tip is create it in reverse order. So what happens when I create this class, I create the next one, they just keep moving down. My newest one comes first. So if you're like me and you like things a certain way and you want first period, second period, third period, fourth period, create them in reverse order. So start with 8th period, then 7th, 6th, 5th. Okay? You cannot rearrange these. I have made that suggestion several times that I want to be able to drag and drop them in the order I want. We still can't do that. Okay? All right, so we're going to create a class. So that plus sign where you went earlier, you're going to click there and click on Create Class. You have to give it a name. That's all you have to put. You can put a section. You can put a subject. I would suggest that you add the school year. Okay. So whether it's 2016, 2017, or 16-17, I would suggest you do that because at the end of this year, you will archive your classes for this year and start over for next year. You want to be able to know what year. That's just another tip for me. You can put a section and you can put a subject. You do not have to. If you put a subject, it's going to try and find a picture that relates to that subject. Okay? But you don't have to put any of that. And then click on Create. It'll take a second to create your class. And it will give it whatever design it chooses. So the first thing people ask is, I want to change that picture. So if you look over to the right bottom corner of the picture, you can click on Select Theme, or you can upload your own photo. Okay, so it's going to have to be in the long landscape format, but if you have a picture of your class or your bulletin board or you or the school, you can select that. If you select Theme, you'll see all of the pictures you can choose, and then you also have some patterns you can choose from. Once you find one you like, just double click on it and it will become the new theme, and along with the picture is the color stripe of this bar as well. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to find a picture that you like. Yes.
I'm still changing mine. I'm changing mine all. That'll bug me.
It'll bug me too.
And said eventually it might integrate into the campus. And I'm leaving grades there and it'll show to the
Yeah.
If not, I put mine on paper anyway. And I put it in there.
Now, I did notice mine,
Mm-hmm.
one of mine, oops, because I just changed mine around. One's green. Can I change
So
those
when
colors?
so when you go in, it'll be the theme. So you go in, you have to go into the class to get
Classroom.
that, and then select the theme.
Okay. Thank you.
So a lot of people will have a different theme for each class, so they can easily recognize which class they're about to go into. Okay? All right. So y'all are great at helping each other. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to deal with the stream first because most everything functions as far as adding content in the same way. Now, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you have a plus sign now, but it has more than just post. It has that you can create an announcement, you can create an assignment, a question, which is like what you did earlier, and you can reuse a post. So if today you say, don't forget to study for your test on Friday, and next week you want to say the same thing, you don't have to create a new one. You just reuse the same one. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on Create Assignment. And this is the hardest thing you will do in Classroom. If you get this down, you got it all down. And it's really not that hard. Okay. So the first thing you see at the top is what class you're posting this assignment into. Okay? So I have my class I call Delete Later 16-17. If I click on the drop down, I'm going to see all of my other classes listed. So if I have 3 sections of Algebra 1, I can put this assignment in all 3 sections at the same time. Okay? Just by clicking on the name of the class, then it will post this assignment there as well. Okay. Go ahead. All right.
How'd you get to assignment?
All right. So the plus. Oh, are you in a classroom? All right. Come back to your classroom. There you go. The plus and assignment. Okay. Yeah, I had 2 different classes. If you only have 1, you won't see anything. If you have 7, you'll see all 7. I should have mentioned that. Okay, you're all right. You're good. So you're.
I did, but
No, but you're in Google Drive. You need to be in Google Classroom. Try not to.
Okay, yeah.
Not my shirt show everything.
My
All right. No, don't go into Drive. Go into Classroom itself. There you go. All right. Now, if you're going to create a class.
that class, so let me go here.
Okay. No, but you don't want to access anything classroom related from Drive. So come over here. Here's the Google Classroom right here. Now let's click on these 3 lines.
How did I get to here?
You're going to go classroom.google.com. So you don't go into that Google Drive folder. So here, I'll show you the way you would get here. So from Drive, click there. You're going to click on your waffle. Go down to more and classroom. Yeah. So that folder, just ignore that folder in Drive. Okay. Yep. So there's all your classes. Yep. So you'll go into your class.
I know, I need to redo it, but.
We can edit it.
We co-teach.
Oh, okay.
So probably only one of us is going to make the class, so.
And then you could invite the other person, then you would both have it here. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So then we did the plus and assignment. All right. So everybody in an assignment window? Yes. Yes, yes. Susan, you're good? Okay. Did you have another question? Okay. All right. If we don't get to it, you tell me. All right. You must have a title. So we're going to call this What You Want to Do for Christmas, or I'm just going to call mine Sample Assignment. You would call it whatever you would normally title your assignment. It would be great if it coincided with what you put in your grade book. Okay? You can give instructions. So your instructions, man, I need to move that. Your instructions could be something like open up the file, complete it, don't forget to turn it in. Okay? Or if you don't have a file that you want to attach, your instructions could be something like create a document where you compose an essay on blah, 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 and turn it in. Okay? You don't have to have a template for them to start with. It makes it easier but you don't have to. They can attach as many files as they want to. Maybe you say your assignment is create a presentation about blah, blah, blah. They create the slide presentation and they attach it. Okay. So whatever instructions you want, you're going to choose a due date. Okay. If you don't choose a due date, that's okay. If you want a due date, you would click, choose the calendar. It's going to default, I believe, to the next school day, but you can make a change. If you want to put the time, you can choose a time. So if you want to say it's due by midnight, or if you want to say it's due by the tardy bell, whatever time you put, you can put. Again, they can still turn it in. It's just going to mark it late. Right? The other thing you have is topic. Right now it just says create topic. A topic is kind of like tagging an assignment. Because in our class that you looked at, there was not a lot of stuff. But you can imagine if you're using this, that stream is going to get really, really long. Okay? When you create topics, it allows you to sort by the topic. So maybe my topic would be November assignments, or it would be the title of whatever chapter I'm in, chapter 2. And so everything I post about chapter 2 is tagged with chapter 2. Then what happens, and you'll notice if you can kind of look in the background, there's a section that says topics. They can sort the stream by topic. So they can sort by chapter 2. Or if you've already moved on to chapter 3 and they need to find a chapter 2 assignment, they can still sort that way. Okay? So it's a really good idea to add topics. So the first time you would have to create it, I'm just going to call this November assignments. The first time you'll create the topic, the next time I come to create an assignment, my November assignment topic will be there. So you wouldn't have to add chapter 2 every time. You would just click on it the next time. Alright, this is the biggest part with Google Classroom. If you want to attach a template or a lesson starter for them to start with, the 4 icons at the bottom are how you attach assignments. So the first one would be a paper clip. That would attach maybe a file you have on your computer. A Word, a PDF, something. Okay. Google Drive obviously is going to pull any file you have from your Google Drive. We'll come back to that one. The next one is a YouTube video. So you could post a link to a YouTube video. If you're not sure which one you want to post, you could do a search. If you know, you can just click on the URL. Paste in your URL for the video that you want to share, and then you would click on Add. I'm going to click Cancel. The last thing is a link, and it just gives you a space to type in a link to whatever you want to share. Okay, so you can type or paste it in, maybe a link to the online textbook or a link to a website you want them to do research from. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. Go ahead and click on Google Drive. And you're going to find that assignment you created earlier about what you want to do on your Christmas break. Okay? So if you click into My Drive, you're going to see all of your files and folders. Find the one, what you're looking for Christmas break, and double click on it to attach it. Okay? Now don't hit Assign yet, because this is the important part. You can attach several things. So let's say you have a project you're wanting them to do. You have a rubric, so you attach that. You have a project template, you attach that. Maybe you have a presentation, you attach that also. So you're not limited to just one thing. But for each thing you attach from your Google Drive, you have 3 options of what you want them to be able to do with that file. Okay, just like when we shared earlier. So I can say they can view the file. So that would be like my rubric or my project guidelines. Okay. I can say they can edit the file. That would be everybody editing the same document. Okay, kind of like we did with our agenda earlier. We were all on the same one. Okay. There may be times when you want your students to collaborate. Or maybe you've put them in collaborative groups. And so you guys are group 1. Maybe I'll put a document for group 1. And students can edit the file. So anyone who opens group 1's file will be able to work on it. Then maybe I'll have another one for group 2, etc. Okay, but if you choose, students can edit the file. It's one file. If I want you each to have your own copy, like we did in the assignment before, that will add your name at the end of it and is private to you, then I'm going to choose make a copy for each student. Most of the time, I would think that would be your option. Yes? Did you select something from your Google Drive? Let me come look. It's okay? All right, we'll look at it later because you should have all three options. The only reason why you might not have that option is if it's a file from your drive that you don't own. You actually have to own the file, so if I shared the file with you, but you're not the owner, you may not be able to attach that file and choose this option.
If you make a copy of the file that you don't own, will you then own it?
Yes, then you do own that copy, yes. Good question. Yeah, so if someone shares something with you and you're not the owner of it, but you want to be so that you can share it this way, then just make a copy. Then you become the owner. All right, so this is the most important piece right here. If I assign this and decide I want to make a change, this part can't always be changed. So if I say I want the students to view the file, or I want the students to edit the file, and then I'm like, wait, I want them all to have their own, I can't come back in and make that change. I have to delete the assignment and redo it. Okay? So that's the big part. The next thing is your assign button. If you click on the drop-down arrow beside assign, you have, again, three options. You can assign it. As soon as you hit assign, it goes to that class. If there are kids in that class, they see the assignment right away. They might get a notification saying, hey, Miss Atchison gave you an assignment. Okay. You can schedule it, which is what Lance was talking about earlier. You can schedule this for a later time, so you have your planning. You can schedule it. That was a feature added by teachers as well. Or you can save it as a draft. You're working on it, the bell rings, you don't have time to do anything, you just save it as a draft. Yes, ma'am? Is yours grayed out? Yeah. Everybody's grayed out?
If you can't schedule for, what was it? If you have two or more, if you like 2 classes, I think it was, you can't schedule. Or there was something.
I don't know about that.
If it was.
How many classes did you choose to put that in? Just one or several?
All the ones I had.
All the ones you have. Take a couple off and see if that becomes an option. I don't know on that one, honestly. If you take that off, does that give you an option to schedule then? It's still waiting? Okay. Let us know if that makes the change, and we might have to use that question and ask.
But then we didn't figure out why we don't have 3 options on making copies.
That is, I think the reason would be if you don't actually own the file itself. You do?
It says you have more than one class. You can only schedule for 1 class at a time.
For make a copy for everyone?
No.
Or assign?
Assign.
Okay.
I pressed assign too early.
Oh. So, okay.
My assignment, and then I added my attachments, and it let me make
And then it lets you make, okay. All right, good. Good. Just delete the whole thing. All right, let me show you that. I'm going to go ahead and hit assign, and then I'm going to give you time to play with this and come answer your specifics. Okay? So I'm going to click on assign. It sticks it right on my screen when it's done. Okay, remember those 3 dots. Anywhere you see 3 dots is going to be a new menu. So I can edit it. So I can go back in and tweak any misspelled words. I can make changes. I can attach a new document, delete the first document. I can delete the whole thing. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you some time to work on adding assignments and testing. Remember, you can always come back and delete these. And right now, you don't have students in this class, so it doesn't matter if you just put a bunch of stuff out there and delete it later. Kids aren't seeing it, they're not there. Okay, and then I'll come around and answer questions.